Hello and welcome to Mildly Informed, a podcast with me, Richie Firth, and Chris Skinner, where we review our weeks, hopefully leaving you mildly informed at best. Chris, how are you?
Rich, I am excellent. I am going on holiday this weekend, and I don't know if you're a big planner or not. I don't know if you would guess this about me. I booked this holiday a long time ago. I have my Google Maps pins in everywhere where I want to go on this holiday. Everything is planned with the exception of certain bits of the week where I've deliberately planned unplanned bits.
We've talked about unplanned fun before.
It's special. And we're going to, it's probably going to involve eating because we're going to be in Cornwall. Are you a Devonshire or a Cornish man? Do you know what that means when it comes to your scones?
It means the order of which way you put your jam and your cream on, doesn't it?
That's right. So I believe a Devonshire is cream then jam, and the Cornish is jam then cream.
I would be jam then cream.
Ah, you're Cornish. I'm Devonshire, which I'm not surprised at all that we've disagreed with each other there.
I think it's because in all the other things that you'd put jam on, whether that would be toast or bread, you'd always put jam first. So why, when a scone comes along, would you do it the other way?
You put butter on first.
Oh, yes. I'm undoing my own argument. Am I agreeing with you? I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll get into the meat of the podcast because I'm worried if I'm actually agreeing.
Well, Rich, let's get into that said meat. I'd love to know something about your exciting and eventful week. Please tell me.
Well, I kind of forewarned you about this a couple of weeks ago. It's coming towards the end of Wimbledon as we record right now, with men's semi-finals today, then the finals over the weekend. Chris, hand on heart, and I'm not here trying to be deliberately truculent, hand on heart, I could not tell you what has gone on at Wimbledon this week in any of the playing whatsoever. But what I could tell you is that Hugh Grant fell asleep in the Royal Box, that Joe Root was there with Jimmy Anderson, and all sorts of other privileged white people were at Wimbledon. And I find that my views of Wimbledon have become entrenched even more so this week. I'm sorry, it's lost it. When we were kids, there was all of the fun of John McEnroe disputing line calls and stuff like that. Over the last fortnight, they've got away with the line judges. They've now got automated AI line calls that, from what I understand, haven't been working. All of the fun, all of the characters have been taken out, and what has been ramped up, and that I seem to know as a bystander of Wimbledon, is that the privilege has been dialed up. And I'm sorry, Wimbledon, you've lost it. It's not what it was It's not what it was of our youth.
I'm astonished to meet this new phase of Richie Firth class warrior, but I don't totally disagree. I will say I did quite enjoy the first week. There was quite a lot of local heroes doing quite well. Some plucky underdogs. Soné Cartel. I loved watching her play. There was some good stuff going on. I found, and we touched on this 2 weeks ago, I found the failure of the video technology hilarious. You know, I am so fatigued with this, and in many ways, I'm like, there you go, tennis. You've just opened up a whole world of pain for yourself that football and cricket fans already go through. So, yeah. Unlucky lads. I do know. I'm gonna. If I had a gun held to my head now, I'd say Swiatek is in the women's, and probably Djokovic is still left, and I think Sinner is still left. But that's probably three of the 8 singles players left. And I watched it a lot last week. Second week, barely watched a minute, and actually found it quite tedious, the reporting of the celebrities on centre court.
That's the only thing for me that has been cutting through is the reporting of the celebrities on centre court,
Mm.
and that's all I'm seeing. And then some of those I'm seeing they've got this amazing privilege of having gone, and then Hugh Grant's fallen asleep. Then you see all these other people that are queuing outside trying to get in who'd love to go, but the celebrities get walked through and lauded. Now, I can't think of any other sports where you're turning up to see professional people play their sport after years of dedication and training. But before they get underway, it's got to be announced to the crowd what special people are sat there in the bit with the really comfy seats. I find it obscene.
Wimbledon tickets are really expensive. Last Friday night, I went to the Oval to watch England women play cricket against India women. It was a fantastic game. It was brilliant. The match was won off the last ball bowled. 15,000 people in. Pretty good attendance, but a fraction of the price of a Wimbledon ticket. No focus on any celebrities there in the stadium whatsoever. We had access to the bar. It was so good, and yet the reporting on that has been diddy compared to the Wimbledon reporting. I would like Wimbledon to be better. I'm a fan of Wimbledon, but I'm with you on this one, Rich. It's not a great year for it.
I have been a fan of Wimbledon, but I'm just basically flagging, guys, you've lost it at the moment. And the only article that I have read, and it was a couple of days ago, and I didn't actually necessarily then go on and read it. So maybe I'm showing my ignorance here, but it came up as a notification on my phone saying all of the 23 British single players are now out of Wimbledon. What have we learnt? And I kind of thought to myself, well, I'll tell you what we've learned. Other than Andy Murray of recent years, we're still shite at tennis, despite the fact that our landmark audience, despite the fact that our landmark tournament is such a money generator. And yet, what are we doing with it? I feel really sorry for like Andy Murray and his mum, who I've had the fortune to sort of like meet, and their dedication and their ethics on tennis and wanting people to be involved and taking it to some of these like places where they don't have the facilities and the courts and all that kind of stuff, and like his legacy is just like it's just fading away. I just find it such a shame.
Well, I am fascinated to hear what glorious review you are going to give Wimbledon.
1 star. It's
Oh no!
happened.
Wow, that bad.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell you anything else about it.
Okay.
It used to be 5 star. I used to sit there watching so much of it, but it's just not grabbing my attention. And I love sport, and I have loved Wimbledon.
Side note on this one: when they were doing the celebrity bit on the telly, and in fact they clipped it for socials, and they're going around. There's like Stephen Fry and Hugh Grant and blah blah blah. They went, oh, and there's Paddington. Ha 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 ha. It was the actor Ben Whishaw who, yes, provided the voice for Paddington. I don't know how Ben Whishaw feels about this, but Ben Whishaw is one of Britain's great actors. He is amazing in everything. I've seen him in the theatre. I've seen him play hitmen. I've seen him play like love, romantic roles. He is brilliant. And for them to be chuckling away, going, ha 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 ha, there's Paddington. You guys, yeah, you tennis commentator nobody, like shut up, yeah, shut up and do one thing that he's done to the level he's done, and then you can joke and call him Paddington.
Chris, we've almost been too serious, and I admonish myself for bringing us down at the beginning of this episode. So let's move on. I want to find out a little bit about your week. What's been on your mind?
Oh no, oh no, what's in the? I'm in a really good mood, okay, but I would like to talk to you about the absolute state of line bikes right now.
Christopher, you don't know what kind of audience that you have just opened up to talk to. I am all ears. I'll just tell you right now, I took a line bike last night and I'm ready to speak after I listen to what you want to say.
I'm a fan of line bikes. I think I've spoke about them on the programme before. I think often they're the fastest, nicest way to get around town, particularly in this really hot weather. breezing through the city on a line bike as opposed to getting on the underground is a wonderful experience. They're a bit overpriced, but not radically so. And I was an early adopter. I'm still an enthusiastic user of them. However, I do not know what has gone on with the maintenance. In the last week, I have had broken saddles, no brakes. I've had weird clicky noises. And then the ultimate insult, I got on a bike at a very busy part of London a couple of days ago. And I'm like, I've got somewhere to be. And I start pedaling. And the entire crank, the pedal and crank, all just fell off. And I'm there in the middle of the old street roundabout with a one-pedaled bike going, what is going on? How do I get out of this road? This absolute piece of crap.
What happens when that happens to the line bike user? I mean, is there a function on the app? Because apart from some of them being an absolute shed of a bike, I've never had one not get me to my destination. So is there a function on there to go, oi, this is a heap of shit, don't charge me a thing?
Well, I've had to do this 3 times recently because I've had, these problems. And so once I managed to get myself out of a road where I was in the middle lane of 3 with a one-pedaled heavy bike, I get up and I sort of go, there's a bunch of buttons you have to press in certain sequential order to cancel the ride. And I do that. And then they have the cheater go, we will not charge you for this ride, smiley face. I'm like, too bloody right. I nearly died in the middle of Old Street Roundabout on a one-pedal bike. Oh, and by the way, that pedal is still there in the middle of the road because I'm not picking it up.
But speaking of the death, you didn't die, but obviously the line bike did. So where does one leave a dead line bike?
I left it on the side of the road. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with it?
I took one last night. I don't know, 15-minute journey, charged £5 for it. If it was a car, there's no way it's passing an MOT test. The faster you went, it was like clank, 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 clank. And that wasn't a noise that it was like designed to make. As if it was some like audible safety system for everyone around. It was just a crap bike. But also, and you might know the answer to this, for whatever reason, it was also like making a siren beeping noise. It was going beep, 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 beep as I'm cycling. So it's doing the siren noise, but it's also clanking. So there's a clank, beep, clank, beep, clank, beep, clank, beep. And I went past some sort of like man den of posse of sort of like lads, and they all turned around going, hey, bro, what's going on with your bike? I was like, I do not know. I'm so sorry. I was having to apologize to it. It's not my bike. It's Lime's bike. It's Uber's bike. It was absolutely awful. What is going on with them? Is it because of the business model and they are just discarded by the side of the road? Because at the moment, Lime bikes, you're in crisis.
Okay. Really important question here. Can I just double check? Did you definitely get billed for using that bike? Did they definitely charge you?
Yeah, £5.
Because what you are telling me is, and I get this a lot around my neck of the woods from the kids, that's exactly the sound they make when the teenage kids nick them and jumpstart them and ride them through town. The clanking and the beeping is the kick-started stolen line bike. So you might have thought those kids were like concerned for you and your bike. I think they were more surprised that a man in his mid-40s had stolen one of them.
Well, thanks for calling me mid-40s. I definitely got a notification from Monzo saying that I've been charged £5.
Okay, well, look, maybe the bike is still bust up from having been previously nicked earlier that day. I don't know.
Well, there's every chance of that because I had to look, there's the function of the bike where you have to sort of like go and locate one. And then you can see that there's one sort of like 5 minutes walk away and you book it. And then you go over to it and all that kind of stuff and you get to it and it's your bike. When I got to where it was, I'm not making any comment. I'm just describing where it was. It was in the middle of a tented community. And I got the bike because that's the bike that I booked. And then I cycled it off and it's clanking and sirening. So maybe earlier on in the day, I don't know when, but maybe it had been forcibly ridden, shall we say. But wow, what a state.
Yeah, not good, is it? Line bikes. Again, like Wimbledon, I love you. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong, and we need you to raise the bar. I want to be giving line bikes as a cycling enthusiast. I want to be giving you 5 stars, yeah. But the absolute ridiculousness of my journeys this week, it's a 2.
I think that's a fair rating. I would give that the same. What do you think? You can let us know in the comment section on YouTube, or if you're watching this as a brief TikTok in there as well. You can email us at mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com.
Was that an ad break?
I heard one.
I heard some excellent adverts from some brands I will definitely be spending my money with. Rich, I'm looking forward to our Patreon show today. I'm also looking forward to next week where we're going to do a Patreon only special.
Yeah.
So you'll only get an episode next week if you're a patron. That is reason to sign up because we are planning some absolute gold.
And is that because you're on holiday in Cornwall?
Maybe.
And pretty much when you look at it like that, if you look at the evidence that's put before us, really the Patreons are coming on holiday with us.
Oh, I'd love that. I would love it. If you want to go down to Towan Beach in Cornwall with me, my fellow Patreons, I've got all the time for you. And at the end of the day, I'll say goodbye.
So next week, there's a Patreon episode because Chris is on holiday in Cornwall. There will not be an episode next week in your normal avenues.
Rich, tell me something about your week, and I'm praying to God it's a good thing.
Chris, I'm sick and tired of people singing in public at railway stations. It does my head in. If you are commuting, if you're commuting into central London, there's every chance that you are stressed because you are under some kind of timetable duress because you either need to get to work on time or you're trying to get home from work to some kind of commitment. You might be up against trying to get to a specific train, or if you're coming into town, you might be thinking, oh, I've got to get that bus or that tube. So there is stress involved with commuting into some kind of mainline terminus. What you don't need to compound that stress is somebody wailing away into a microphone and their own portable PA system because they think they want to inflict their musical gift on you. I have had enough of it. The other day, I arrived into Liverpool Street. It's quite hot at the moment, so there's another element of stress. I arrived into Liverpool Street station and there was somebody up top on the sort of the mezzanine area of the station, and they were absolutely slaughtering numbers from the Cranberries, singing so sharp you would not believe it. And honestly, that's the kind of thing for me that is the straw that can break the camel's back of a day where I'm living the life of Michael Douglas in Falling Down. I have had enough of singing publicly in train stations. Now, I'm not talking about busking. If you want to stand with a violin case open by a lamppost and sing badly, that's fine. But when you're inside a railway station and you've bought a portable PA system with you, so you are using the acoustics of a big train shed and it's going around the station inflicting your flat singing on everyone else. It's not as if the commuters could go, sorry, love, not for me. Next. You can't move them on. I've had enough.
So, just to be clear on that, these people singing don't have an official buskers pitch. So they are performing without a license. Is that what you're saying? Or you just don't like the location in which they've been permitted to busk?
Well, you see, let's talk about the people in Liverpool Street specifically. They are just about inside the station and they're always stood in the same place. But it's not a TfL official London busking spot. but I don't see the Network Rail staff moving them on quickly. It's as if people are kind of like, oh, that's lovely. Yeah, we'll have them there. It's got to be quality. There's got to be some kind of quality control for these people. When it comes to Christmas, November, December, and you see the old Sally Army belting out some carols with their brass instruments, that's lovely because with the
Mm,
Salvation Army, you're going to get on point brass instruments. But knock off Dolores from Cranberries. No, no, no. There's no
okay.
quality control. No one's gone before Network Rail, some kind of musical auditions, and they've gone, yeah, do you know what? You can play at Liverpool Street for an hour.
I'm not quite sure what to make of this. For a start, I love the Cranberries. And someone having a crack at the Cranberries is not something I have beef with.
Have a
I
crack at
think,
the Cranberries, a lucky voice, not a Liverpool Street.
but she had, I don't think her voice is everyone's cup of tea. It's very much mine. So I don't know how much this is personal taste for you. Secondarily, and we are absolutely must not go down this path. I like a bit of Christmas brass music, but if I remember correctly, and I'm very happy for people to call me out on this one, I think the Salvation Army are a bunch of homophobes. So screw those guys. So I think they are. You know what? We're going to have to Google this now because otherwise I'm going to look really, really bad.
Yeah, and you might have to take it out, and it'll be a second part of the episode, second episode running, where there's an apology for a bit that misses.
I have been asked a couple of times about what went on with our Patreon episode last week and what it is that we took out, and I'm not telling people. Interesting. Okay. So the Salvation Army insists that they don't discriminate against LGBTQ people. Critics say that's not true. They come out and say, no, 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 that's not right. But certain and important to understand, gay people say that's not the case. So I'm gonna give you Sally Army guys a pass for now because you're saying you're not, although other people are saying you are. If anyone wants to educate us on this, please mildly inform us. Oh God, why
I
have I dug
feel
into this wormhole?
I feel a slur from you has taken the wind somewhat out of my sails of the
Yeah,
person
sorry,
that
where were we?
was slaughtering the Cranberries in Liverpool Street, much to my annoyance this week.
All right, okay. If they were official buskers, that would be a problem for you as well, yeah?
Chris, I guess what I'm saying, and it would be fair to offer a solution. My solution for busking in train stations is this. I think there should be some kind of TV show called Train Idol, where we see Network Rail executives sat on a panel like Simon Cowell back in the day.
Pete Waterman, surely.
Say again? Pete
Pete
Waterman,
Waterman.
yes, he loves his trains. It's a very good shout. And they need to be auditioning these people. We need to see that there is some kind of quality control process because then I would be a lot more accommodating. But at the moment, I think they let anyone have a go.
Right, okay. I sort of don't agree with you, but I also understand that it's a very personal thing. And if you don't like it, that I respect.
I've travelled on a train to get somewhere. I've not travelled on a train to have my ears assaulted. So singing in public spaces, I'm going to give 2 stars.
Oh no, God, this is a 2-star special show, isn't it?
I'm sure we'll cheer up at some point.
Rich, I've got some good news for you and anyone who needs a bit of cheer in their life. I play cricket on Sunday. We don't need to talk about the cricket. We've spoken about playing cricket before. Had a really busy morning running the family around, doing that kind of thing. I didn't have time to prepare any lunch, and I knew I was going to have an afternoon of playing sport and needed to get some grub. And so I knew that 3/4 of the way to the cricket ground was a Brazilian delicatessen, which I've stopped in a few times in the past and thought, this is my option. Brazilians, Rich, love meat. And you
They
walk
do.
in there And holy moly, that's one hell of a butcher's, and a lot of mad stuff going on there with meats I've never seen before. And it's got all, like, you can tell there's an expat community who go there. Loads of products that I'm not familiar with, like that sort of joy of being in a holiday supermarket. But there was one thing I'm very familiar with. And if you speak Portuguese right now, you might not appreciate how I pronounce this, but I hope you appreciate the sentiment. There is a foodstuff that they sell in the Brazilian deli, which is one of the greatest snacks in the entire world. And this is the coxinha. Now, the coxinha is a kind of raindrop-shaped, breadcrumbed, doughy, stuffed chicken and cream cheese snack.
I've never heard of it, but that description has got me. Wow.
It is so tasty. So they're sort of warm. There's like, like they've got like a warm bit at the front of the deli. And I always go in, I buy two. Two is sufficient for lunch. And oh my God, like I still now, 5 days later, feel fantastic for these coxinhas. I only eat them a few times a year, and they are mwah.
Could you give me an idea of the size of a coxinha?
Yeah, I could. Let me think. It's like, imagine if you got a shoebox and you cut it
and you cut it in half. I asked the question again without you being a twat. Could you give me an indication of the size of a coxinha?
It's about the size of a computer mouse, a regular computer mouse.
I'd want it bigger than that.
Well, that's why I have two.
Okay. I didn't know what a coxinha was. And when you said to me we were going to talk about coxinhas, I thought it was going to be a cocktail. And I thought you'd gone and got a cocktail on the way to a cricket match. And that was why you didn't want to tell me about how the cricket had gone. Do they play much cricket in Brazil?
I would have thought probably not. But what it'll be, I mean, if you could play cricket in Brazil, what a wonderful place it would be to play, especially if this was your tier.
Look at that. That looks amazing. And Chris, it looks like you could dip it in Laugon Mar.
Mate, you could absolutely go to town on that. I reckon actually possibly a sweeter dip might work, like a sweeter chili dip would work.
Could I make a coxinha at home?
You'd need a deep fat fryer, I think.
Okay.
You got a deep fat fryer?
No.
Have you ever had a deep fat fryer?
No. Who has deep fat fryers at home?
Oh, loads of people. Okay, definitely my sister and brother-in-law had one because they got obsessed with making the perfect chips for a while.
I'm just going to ask, hey Siri, how many people have deep fat fryers at home in the UK? It doesn't want to tell me.
I'm surprised it didn't just start playing you the 1975 or something. Like, my Siri's gone a bit mad recently.
Maybe Siri's running line bikes.
I implore you, if you get the opportunity to find yourself a shop that sells or a cafe that sells coxinhas, it ain't going to be wrong for you. If you're super lucky, some do a veggie version with jackfruit instead of chicken. It still works. It still works. I give coxinhas, my favourite Brazilian snack food, 5 stars.
And I will be searching them out myself. And I'm sure when I get the chance to try them, my rating will be similar.
Mate, the Brazilian deli on Mare Street, there's a start. Anyone who lives in East London, start there. Go get your coxinhas. So, Rich, I think before we go on to the Patreon, we have time for you to tell me one more amazing, please, thing about your week.
Now, unfortunately, what I'm about to tell you is going to be out of date for the to the listeners of this show. You may or may not have seen that recently Amazon had one of their Prime shopping events. And because I am a bit of a sucker, I I went in and started buying a few bits and bobs that I didn't necessarily need, but had been wanting for a while, and saw that they were reduced. Now, because it was an Amazon Prime event, they all arrived very, very quickly. And Chris, they are all things that I have been using non-stop since, and probably using more than I needed to. Let me explain and tell you about my latest Amazon audit. I have bought steak knives, knife sharpeners, and an electric pump, and I cannot stop using every single one of them.
Together?
Not together necessarily. So, for example, the steak knives are obviously to eat steak with. I love a steak every now and then, but we haven't had steak knives. So I've been struggling to eat steak with bog standard cutlery. Yeah, not good. So ordered some steak knives. They've arrived. They're absolutely fantastic. The irony is I haven't got any steak in the house yet. So I've been cutting all sorts of other things with my steak knives. For example,
Like
I've been cutting strawberries in the morning to go on my granola with the steak knives because they're so good.
Okay,
However,
that's
I
weird.
also bought a brand new knife sharpener, and as a result, I have been sharpening everything around the house. Every single knife in the house is now razor sharp. I could be like some kind of samurai. It's brilliant. I've also been sharpening all of the scissors as well. I've been sharpening all of the toenail clippers with my new knife sharpener. Every single possible blade in this house is so sharp, I could be dangerous. But that's not the only thing that I've bought this week. I've bought an electric pump. Yes, a pump that you would pump up footballs and bike pumps with. Not a foot pump, because that one died. That's why I was in the market for a brand new pump. I've bought an electric pump, the kind of one that is charged up by a USB lead. And Chris, it's incredible. You put in the PSI that you want, and then it will just go and do it. And all of my bike tires are now pumped up to exactly the PSI that they need to be. But not just that, now every football, all of my son's footballs, all of my footballs are all pumped up to the exact PSI that they need to be. And it makes you realize how every single football that you've ever been playing with is underinflated. Because if you pump up a football to what it should be pumped to, Chris, it's like a beach ball. It's so light, it will bounce the height of your house. I pumped up a football the other day to the PSI it should be, and then took it to the outside window, the upstairs window. Generally, all windows are outside, and I dropped it out, and it dropped down onto the patio and bounced up higher than the house. It's incredible.
I need to see a video of this. Can you please arrange for Natalie to film you doing this?
I think she'll do it. She'll be rolling her eyes as she does it because she's really quite frustrated about how I can't stop pumping things up.
What's the PSI limit?
I think it could pump up to 120.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Do you think it could do my paddleboard?
What valve does your paddleboard have?
It's got like a big chunky one.
Is that one that you'd normally screw something onto or insert something into? Right there, Ronnie Corbett.
Screw.
Really? I reckon it probably would then. What PSI would your paddleboard have?
Well, I think it's 15 bar, but it's like
Yeah.
it's big, isn't it? So getting it to that is quite high. I can't remember.
Well, as long as I've charged
it takes
up.
loads of effort.
I'd love to come round and try and pump up your paddleboard.
I've never wanted you to come around my house more.
Could we meet and go paddleboarding and I'll pump it up?
Yep.
The antithesis of me coming round with my pump is also bringing my sharp steak knives, because I think that might sink your paddleboard.
I don't. Right, okay. Buying steak knives to eat strawberries with, Rich, is pretty weird. Sharpening toenail clippers, yeah, with a knife sharpener is also pretty weird.
What else would you sharpen them with? No one wants blunt clippers.
I just get a new pair. They're cheap, aren't they?
Well, that's the kind of disposable society we live in now, and I didn't think you'd be part of it.
No, it's a fair point you make, but I have never got to a point where my toe clippers have gone blunt. They've always got lost first.
Well, maybe you don't have the size toenails that I do.
I didn't know this was a pissing contest.
I produce keratin like it's going out of... Look up keratin horn. I once had a keratin horn. I produce way too much keratin. That's why I need to sharpen my toenail clippers.
I have, on my honeymoon, I was walking through a rainforest in Costa Rica and I ate termites and they tasted just like carrots. And I'm told that was because of the keratin levels in termites. Does that mean
Did you get the horn on your honeymoon then?
Well, Rich, it's a very personal question.
Amazon, your Prime Day and my haul that I got from it, 5 stars. I have got so much happiness from knives and pumps over the last few days.
So Wimbledon, one of the world's great sporting events, gets 1 star.
Mm-hmm.
And some deliveries that came to your house get 5.
Correct. That's where the world is right now.
Well, I feel mildly informed, Rich.
Chris, before we move on to our Patreons and we wish our traditional, conventional listeners a fortnight's adieu, I should ask, we did conduct an experiment on this show last week on TikTok to see if we could go viral with the origins of towels. Chris, how did that experiment go?
It's a good question. I'm just opening it up now. It is. Where are we? Here we go. It did not blow the world apart. It's only to this stage been seen by around 800 people.
Define viral.
More people have seen our poke or provoke comments. I looked back at the clip. I thought we were too enthusiastic with our lies. I think if you're gonna lie, we looked like we were, really excited to say it. I think we should have been much more like. It really frustrates me that no one knows that towels were only invented in the 20th century, and the fact that people can't even get that into their own head shows how little they know about like modern technology. If it had been done like that would have worked.
Yeah. Okay. Something to try another time.
Maybe next week.
Maybe you've got an idea of a lie that we can put out there. All sorts of things. mildlyinformedpod@gmail.com is you would need to head. We're heading over to the Patreons right now.